Hello, and welcome to Japanese Craft Beer Reviews. Today we will look at a beer which comes from a brewery that I have never heard of. Perhaps you haven't either, unless you happen to live in Northern Europe. And that brewery is this one. It's called Volfas Engelman. And Volfas Engelman is apparently the second largest brewery in Lithuania. And I'm not sure if I've had a beer from Lithuania before or not. I should check. And Lithuania is the southernmost of the three Baltic states on the western side of Europe or Russia. And those include Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania. And Lithuania was basically under Russian control or Soviet control later until 1990, and now they are, of course, a fully independent nation. Volfas Engelman is in the town of Kaunas, Lithuania, and it's named for the two founders of the brewery. Or basically in 1894, Volfas Brewery bought Engelman's brewery, and they combined the two names together. In 1997, Pilsner Urquell, the famous Pilsner Urquell in the Czech Republic, bought the 51% of the company, controlling amount, and then 2 years later they sold it to A. Lecoq, which is a brewery in Estonia. And A. Lecoq is owned by Olvi in Finland, which is a very large brewery in Finland. Volfas Engelman makes a variety of products, including beer, cider, energy drinks, soft drinks, and kvass, which is a traditional Baltic drink brewed from rye or even rye bread. And it's very low alcohol beer, often unfiltered. So they make a variety of things, but I think recently they probably made an effort to export themselves. They have labels in Lithuanian and in English. And so on Rate Beer there were 191 beers listed from this brewery, and on Untapped there were 284. Some of them may be duplicates, I don't know. So we're going to look at several beers from them. I'll have a playlist of 4 different beers eventually from this brewery, perhaps more in the future. So shall we get started? All right, and here is a beer from that brewery, Volfas Engelman. It is called Volfas Engelman APA. And you might think American Pale Ale, but no, it's Australian Pale Ale. And this is a pale ale, and it's at 5% alcohol, 20 international bittering units, and it includes down under hops, and I'll talk about that in a second. This is in their Pau Saulio Sconiae series, which means flavors of the world. They have an IPA, an APA, a Blanc, and so forth. And so they have a series of beers from different parts of the world, and hence the label art is showing you all sorts of things here. In this case, Australia. And this beer is 5% again by alcohol, 20 IBUs, and it costs 398 yen at the store where I bought it, and that would translate into $2.96, and if you're counting in euros, that would be 2.78 euros. Rate Beer, there were 163 ratings for this one. The average is 3.08, not so high. 27 percentile for all beers on Rate Beer, and 21 percentile for its style, so definitely not in the higher end of those ranges. Untapped 7,693 ratings, and the average is a bit higher, 3.31. And it's funny, it's almost identical to the IPA. Yeah, it is identical for Untapped. And the malt is barley malt and caramel barley malt, and the hops are the down under hops here. We have Ella hops from Australia, Rakau from New Zealand, and then Galaxy hops from Australia. So we should get an interesting kind of down under note, often a kind of nice, gentle sort of tropical fruity note from that. Okay, these beers are wrapped with foil to keep the can clean. It's an interesting idea. Nice little addition to a beer, so you don't have to worry about dust or dirt on the can as you open it. Let's give this one a go. The cat is here watching with me, looking outside. Sleepyhead, smelling stuff. Right, here we go. Okay. Oh, and by the way, this one is 568 milliliters, so it's a bit larger than the typical 500 milliliter can we get here. It is a full pint. Okay. All right, I'm getting some light floral, light tropical fruit nose. Yeah, they smell like the hops my friend puts in his like Belgian IPAs. Interesting. So definitely light citrus, light tropical fruit, maybe something like melon. Nice. Really, the aroma's quite nice on this one. The flavors are what you'd expect from the hops, but not as full. It tastes more fruity, juicy. So light sort of oranges, even maybe lighter than orange, maybe something like mandarin orange. A bit powdery, flowery, maybe an kind of off note in the mid palate. The hops do contribute, but they're not really doing a lot, and it kind of does fade out after mid palate. So light and juicy, and as with the IPA, not as full featured as you would hope. So when you say APA, you think, oh boy, I'm going to get a lot of this, down under feature, and we don't get much here. The hops are there clearly, so I would recognize definitely Galaxy, probably. But so the first half is great, and then it fades out really fast. It goes downhill. Well, what can you expect? The price is low. They are making quite an effort to export, so I can't fault them too much here, but I don't think I would give this a very high rating either. You may want to try it out if you happen to be near a Yamaya store. Give it a go. It does have certainly a different taste from the IPA or a regular pale ale, and you may find it good. I think it is quite refreshing, but just not the most exciting beer around. Once again, it's called Volfas Engelman APA, Australian Pale Ale, 5% and 20 international bittering units. So give it a go and let me know what you think, okay? Take care. Bye-bye.